Here we are again, folks. True journalism with none other than the founder of Act for America, the incredible Brigitte Gabriel. Hello, Brigitte.
Hello, Brent, and thank you for your kind words. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Today, I want to talk about white supremacy. We've been hearing this word a lot from every news outlet on the left and every leftist politician. As President Biden said in his speech last weekend at the historically Black Howard University, Joe Biden told the audience, quote, "The most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy." Now, I have news for Joe Biden. White supremacy didn't blow our border wide open, didn't crash our economy, or hand over billions in weapons to our enemies. Joe Biden and his handlers did. And of course, they know this, but they keep lying. But they push these lies because they know they can only conquer a divided nation. They tell us lies about who we are as a country and what we stand for, because when we citizens don't have pride, they have nothing to fight for. So they repeat the same friction. America is a racist country. America is oppressive. America is bigoted. But America is the greatest country on earth, and everything we are and everything we have been is at stake. If they can turn the American people against their country and make them ashamed of their own flag, they know they can achieve their agenda. They can make us a borderless, genderless, godless society that bows to the government and obeys their every command. That's why they want subjects who are too shackled by their own guilt to do anything while their country is crumbling around them. And it is not only Joe Biden using the white supremacist lie. The FBI also have been busy formulating a white supremacist threat. Whistleblowers have revealed that the FBI has been hard at work pressuring agents to classify cases as domestic violent extremism, DVE, when they aren't, and rewarding them when they do. That's how you create a white supremacist terror threat. This revelation came last year from Congressman Jim Jordan. Congressman Jordan said, quote, "From recent protected disclosures, we have learned that FBI officials are pressuring agents to reclassify cases as domestic violent extremism, even if the cases do not meet the criteria for such a classification." This was no surprise. This is, after all, the same FBI that investigated angry parents who protested at school board meetings against the imposition of the woke agenda in public schools. The parents at the school board meetings were just the beginning. This regime aims to criminalize political dissent, and that will require demonizing and stigmatizing fully half the electorate. Before too long, it will be clear that when Biden claims that white supremacists are the biggest terrorist threat to the nation, he means ordinary Americans who have never broken any law, but who oppose his agenda. If everyone who opposes him is a white supremacist terrorist, then the nation has over 100 million of them. Arrests and prosecutions on false pretenses will follow. We cannot sit on the sidelines anymore and watch our country crumble. Everyone must become engaged, informed, and active. Go to actforamerica.org and join us today. It's thanks to people like you watching me right now that I know no matter how bad it looks, the American spirit will never die. What they've destroyed, we will renew as long as we come together and work together to save America and our freedom. Please go to actforamerica.org and get involved today.
I'm amazed, Brigitte. I mean, anyone who can read a history book can understand that, Andrew Jackson's later to become Democrat Party were responsible for Native American genocide. The same party of the KKK, the same party that wanted to hang on to slavery, the same party. From the likes of Margaret Sanger, those who wanted to wipe out the blacks after the Civil War and then beyond into modern times, the same people that target minority neighborhoods with Planned Parenthood death centers. It's amazing. Brigitte, I'm not so sure that facts matter anymore to those who vote for a living. It's those of us who have a moral compass, who have some type of education in the matter, that understand, that the principles that our country was founded on were Judeo-Christian values. And it seems that this administration is everything contrary to that. Joe Biden's handlers understand that. But Brigitte, it's so important that people join Act for America and that they have Act for America. They support Act for America. There's no Act for America in Venezuela. I bet they wish they had one of those when all these same tactics were being used. But folks, if you go to actforamerica.org, sign up for the free action alerts, you can be educated and activated and informed, and you can take the steps that you need to take to make your voice heard with your local representatives. It all happens at actforamerica.org.
Yes, Brent. And look, America is not a white supremacist country. Every country has an ugly past. Every country has a part of its history, things that they are embarrassed about. And we have had some bad things happen in our country that most people in America today would not stand for. Americans, we come together, we love each other, we appreciate each other. America is a country that not only overcame racism, but elected President Obama, the first African-American president, Black president to be, actually, he's not African-American, let's clarify that. The first Black president, half-Arab president, who was elected as president of the United States. Americans came together from all backgrounds who elected him. Jews elected him, Italians elected him, Irish elected him, white, Black, Asians, people from all color. It's not about color. But what we are experiencing today is the weaponization of our government against certain class of people or certain group of people that do not agree with the political agenda. Look, the left calls me a white supremacist. I'm a Middle Eastern woman. My mother tongue is Arabic. My skin is brown. I have curly hair. And they call me a white supremacist. This is nonsense. This is the weaponization of our government against us, trying to divide the people. Because, like, again, if they can divide one against another, this is how they destroy a country. This is exactly how you break a country. If a lot of sticks bond together, you cannot break them. But if you separate one stick apart, you can break one stick. And that's exactly how they're trying to break America. One stick at a time, one group at a time. And we cannot allow that to happen. And this is why I tell people, and this is the time to become engaged. And if you are watching me right now, and if our message resonates with you, please go to actforamerica.org and join us. We are the largest movement of parents, of people, of teachers, of law-abiding citizens, of veterans, of military folks, of average Americans who love God, who love our country, who love our freedom, who honor the legacy and memory of our founding fathers, who want our statues to remain in public spaces so we can learn from our history. If we are the type of people you would like to hang around, please join us. Go to actforamerica.org. Sign up to get our emails and action alerts. They don't cost you anything. We want you informed. We want to be able to notify you when there is a bill coming down for a vote, so you can make your voice heard, so you can notify your elected officials. We make it so easy for you to take action through our Act Now campaigns. You enter your information, you click on Act Now. We give you the names of your elected officials on the state level and the federal level. We have an email prepared for you. You can send it with a click of a button. We want to make sure your elected officials hear from you. So together, we can mobilize our country, we can engage our fellow Americans, and we can pressure our elected officials to do the right thing. There is no racism among us. There is no hatred among us. There is only patriotism among us. This is what's going to save America.
You are right, Brigitte. And you brought up a good point with Obama. Obama would never have been elected if America was a racist country. And yet under Obama, Blacks had 50% unemployment because of identity politics, and this propagated victimized culture, he betrayed the black community. Ask the average person, who voted for him. They were very, very surprised. Surprisingly, even Hollywood spoke up. But under President Trump, minorities had the largest financial gains ever in the history of our country. It's because Trump is not a racist. It's amazing. The Al Sharptons, and the Jesse Jacksons, who gave awards to President Trump before he decided to run as a conservative. Identity politics, it only happens with Democrats. The race card is always pulled when you disagree with this communist Democrat agenda. And folks, you know what? We can come together. We're seeing people come together from every walk, even from the left. They're realizing, hey, this isn't what I signed up for. Well, it is when you voted for the Democrat platform. And unfortunately, a lot of people are learning the hard way. Brigitte, people are putting up signs in their restaurants saying, hey, if you voted for this Build Back Better, please don't come in. It's amazing what's happening. How many people are being bold, making a stance for conservative values. Well, take that boldness and go to actforamerica.org. Take that boldness and call 1-888-999-1928, 1-888-999-1928 for the purpose of giving a tax-deductible donation, becoming a member of the largest grassroots organization of its kind, the best organization of its kind, getting over 180 bills passed. It's none other than Brigitte Gabriel and actforamerica.org.
That's right, Brent. And we are so proud of the bills that we have been able to pass. And we did not pass them without the help and support of millions of Americans who are coming together and becoming engaged. Look, at this point right now, Brent, there is no Democrats and Republicans. There is us versus them, because there's a lot of Democrats who were John F. Kennedy Democrats who are looking at the Democratic Party and thinking, who are you? This is not what I stood up for. I fought for women's rights. And right now, the most celebrated women standing on the stage getting awards are basically men. This is not the country that we want. There is no Democrats and Republicans. There is us versus them. There are those who love our country, and there are those who want to transform our country. There are those who honor our founding fathers, and there are those who loathe our founding fathers, who want to destroy their statues, who want to erase their memory. There are those of us who love law enforcement and stand with law enforcement. Look, there's a bad apple in every box, but this does not mean you throw our whole police force and you throw our whole law enforcement aside, calling for their defunding. We need our police in our communities. There are those of us who love and respect our police and appreciate the sacrifices that they do in our community to keep our community safe. And there are those who do not want any police whatsoever at all. They want you to call some therapist at 2 o'clock in the morning, some counseling center, if you have a killer or a rapist coming into your house to rape your children and hurt you. This is not the country that we want. So right now we are finding ourselves that we're not carrying labels anymore. There are those of us patriots who love this country, as simple as that. If you are a patriot who love this country, now is the time to speak up. Now is the time to stand up. Now is the time to take action. Now is the time to come together with like-minded individuals who love America as much as you do and say, I'm standing with you shoulder to shoulder. Police officer, veteran, priest, pastor, nun, nurse, doctor, whatever your career is, whether you are a veteran, whether you are whatever you are, now is the time we stand together shoulder to shoulder to protect our country. We are losing our sovereignty. We are allowing criminals to come into our country by the millions, taking away benefits from our own children who worked so hard. By the way, Brent, I was with a group of friends in Washington, D.C. This weekend, just yesterday, and I came home. Do you know they were booking rooms for a wedding in New York for a family member? Do you know you cannot even find a hotel room in New York right now? 50% of hotels in New York are booked for illegal aliens right now. Literally, they are putting them in fancy hotels. Rooms are skyrocketing. You can stay at a dump for $500 a night. You cannot find a room. People are willing to pay anything. And these illegal aliens are destroying these hotels, are defecating in the hallways. They are using drugs in the hallways. No respect whatsoever. Yet they have a cell phone. They have whatever insurance that they want. They have Nintendo, they have video games, while our children are looking for jobs, are worried about whether Social Security is going to be there for them. We are squandering our children's money that should be spent rightfully on them for projects and things that they need. We're squandering it on illegal aliens breaking the law, coming into our country as a criminal, not as a guest who applied to enter our home and ask if they can reside in our home. And that is wrong. I don't care whether you are a Democrat or a Republican. That is wrong when we are destroying our own country by our own hands. That's what these corrupt leaders are doing right now. And that's what this corrupt administration is doing. And that's why we need you to go to actforamerica.org. Take action on our Act Now campaigns. We have many campaigns where you can take action, and together we can take back our country.
And here you are again, bringing people together. Folks, we can do this. It's time to do this. This coordinated and funded invasion of our country is nothing more than an attempt to overthrow our Constitution. You know, most people are starting to realize something's not quite right. Well, hello, you know, I'm glad you're joining to the party. Americans aren't always early to the dance, but when they show up, and we are confident that you can show up. Join us by going to actforamerica.org, signing up for the action alerts. It's free. Also, being able to use this tool. What an incredible website to get educated, to get activated, and to use that tool even from your phone to contact your local representatives.
Exactly, Brent. Exactly. And look, we have to save our country. And that's exactly what we're doing. We notify you when there are bills coming down for a vote in your state, on the state level as well as the federal level. And that's exactly how we have been able to pass 180 bills on the federal level and the state level. So make sure we know what state you live in and what's your address. Because if I do not know where you live, I do not know whether to notify you if there's a bill coming down in Wyoming, or whether you live in Vermont, or whether you live in Florida. So make sure you let us know where you live. That's why we ask you for your address when you sign up and take action on our Act Now campaigns. We need to know where you are so we can connect you with your elected officials. By the way, we do not sell, we do not share, we do not lease, we do not rent our database. Your information is safe with us. And the reason why we take that information is because elected officials require your information if you want to send them an email to verify that you are actually a real person and you're not a computer-generated name and email address. By the way, Brent, here's an important question. I was asked this last weekend. I was speaking and somebody said to me, is there's a difference between a letter or an email? Because we heard it's more important or more effective if you actually send a handwritten letter or a letter instead of sending an email. Now, and here's the answer to that question. In the old days, before email, it was more effective if you would send a letter, because it meant somebody actually sat down, went through the process of going to the post office, licking a stamp, putting it on the letter, and sending the letter. But since 9/11, you cannot send a letter directly to your members of Congress. It has to go to the middle of the country in Kansas or somewhere to make sure there's no anthrax powder or whatever before it gets to your member of Congress. By the time it gets to your member of Congress, the bill has already passed, whatever issue has already gone. Today, with the ease of email, nobody sends letters anymore because everybody knows the emails are just, you can send emails to somebody faster, and they are just as important as a letter because they can actually verify that you are a real person. And that's exactly why they ask for your address, to make sure that you are a constituent or actually a true voter in our country. So yes, an email is as important as a letter. And here's another important piece of information that you need to know. Every email or phone call represents 1,000 voters. There's a science behind every email and every call. And that's why most people think, oh, my congressman needs to hear from 40,000 people before they do anything. Wrong. They need to hear on the federal level from 40 to 50 people. That's it. And the science behind the numbers, like I just mentioned, is every email or a phone call represents 1,000 voters. They believe if one person makes a phone call or writes an email, He or she are representing 1,000 lazy couch potatoes who feel the same way but are too lazy to get off the couch and make a phone call or send an email, yet they vote on election day. That represents 40 to 50,000 voters on election day. That can make or break an election. Know your power. This is the power that you have. And you can do it with the click of a button on your cell phone. We made it very easy for you, thanks to the support of our donors who helped us build this platform called Act Now, so everybody can take action. And again, if this message resonates with you right now, go to actforamerica.org, click on Act Now. You'll see the multiple campaigns that we have on the state level, on the federal level. Please take action. And also, please become a member. Become a proud pin-wearing member of Act for America, or whatever level you sign up on. You can be a monthly Patriot partner and help us expand our programs, expand our project, recruit nationwide, grow nationwide, become more influential nationwide. We need you as a member. We need you as a Patriot partner. We cannot get the stuff that we are getting done without you. You are a pivotal part in helping us save our country. I cannot do it by myself. Brent cannot do it by himself. Elected officials cannot do it by themselves. We, the people, need to come together and turn up the pressure on elected officials to do the right thing. But they need to hear from you, and we need your support. Please go to actforamerica.org and become a member today.
You know, Brigitte, I'm there right now, actforamerica.org. What an incredible tool, folks. It would blow your mind what you could do, what you could learn through this website, the actions that you could take. You know, Brigitte does not sell your information. She could for a whole lot of money, but we're getting people activated and educated. You know, when you go to Act Now, under that tab, there's the Act Now National, all those issues that you may not even know about. You know, you can't trust mainstream media folks all the time when it comes to alerting you to the bills that are being proposed or to the happenings around the country. There's so many ways to get involved. So many of you love your country. You're not sure where to start. And, you know, there's a saying, Brigitte, you know, when something is important to someone, nothing will stop them, you know, nothing will stop you when it's important. But if it's not really important, everything will stop you. What would it be like, folks, if you dedicated one day a week, one day a month? You can go to actforamerica.org and actually take action on the issues that have an impact in your community, because they do, an impact on your family because they do, an impact on your children's and children's children because they do, and they will. But, you know, Brigitte, what an incredible tool, the actforamerica.org, and it's tax deductible, especially when you call 1-888-999-1928, 1-888-999-1928. Stand for your country and be able to tax deduct it as well. Folks, if there's ever been a time that you're going to become active for your country, it is now, and you can do it with actforamerica.org.
Exactly. We can no longer sit on the sidelines and think somebody else is going to do it. Somebody else is going to take care of it. Those other people are working on it. We all need to come together and work together to save our country. And we cannot wait till the last minute. The other frustrating thing, Brent, is a lot of people say, well, this is not an election year. You know, we can wait till next year. Now is the time to organize. Now, you know, I tell people, when do you plant grass seeds? If you want a green grass in the summertime, when do you start planting? You start in September. You fertilize in October. You fertilize again in November, because you want to make sure that these roots get established. So by the time summer comes in June, July, those roots are already established. They are strong. Your grass is seasoned. And then when the summer sun and the heat comes in and it's 99 degrees, your grass is so strong that can withstand any sun and any heat. This is exactly why we need to prepare now. We are coming to a very important election in 2024. Now is the time to become organized. Now is the time to become mobilized in our community. Now is the time to help pass bills that will secure our election integrity. Look, Brent, one of the bills that we worked very hard on in the last 2 years since the 2020 election is the Stop Zuckerbucks Funding of Private Elections. You know, we passed that bill. We passed a bill to prevent private funding of elections in 30 states, because let's face it, Zuckerbucks poured over $400 million into private elections, into private states, funneling them through nonprofits. And that's what swung, that's all these ballot boxes, and that's all the irregularity that happened in the 2020 election. In this last 2022 midterm election, you didn't hear anything about these ballot boxes. Why? Because Act for America passed 30 bills in 30 states that stop the Zuckerberg's funding of elections. And we want to make sure right now we have like another 23 states we are working on between now and the election on 2024 to make sure all these loopholes are closed for any private funding, for any shenanigans that any bad actors want to play to have influence over the American voter. We are cleaning the voter rolls. We are making sure there are voting laws in every state to make sure that people have to show a voter ID in order to vote. You know how important that is? You will be shocked how many states don't have those regulations. That's what we are working on right now. We cannot do this without you. We need you by our side. We need your patriotism. If you have red, white, and blue blood flowing through your veins, we need you by our side. Together we are stronger. Together we are more influential. Together we are more powerful. That's the strength. That's the attitude. That's the passion that we need to save our country. Because let me tell you something. The left has this passion 10 times over. They are burning with passion. We are sitting around and we are praying for our country, and we are thinking for our country, and we are hoping for our country. And you know what? You can think and you pray and you hope and you should, but without taking action, nothing changes. Go to actforamerica.org. That's why we call the organization Act for America. Go to actforamerica.org. Become a member today. Stand with us proudly. Sign up to receive our emails and action alerts. Every Thursday, we send you an action alert about bills coming down for a vote and what you can do to make your voice heard. If you don't make your voice heard, you cannot complain about the status quo in our country. You cannot complain about what our elected officials are voting on in our country. Now you know. Before, maybe you could have said, well, I didn't know there's something I can do. And well, oh my gosh, I feel helpless. But now you know. And today is the day for you to become a powerful voice affecting your community and our nation. Go to actforamerica.org and join us, become a member, and stand with us financially and take action.
Thank you for another great show, Brigitte.
Thank you, Brent, and thank you everyone for joining us. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.